Our first guest tonight is a talented actor who you know from his work as Peter Parker from both the Spider-Man movies and the Avengers franchise. His latest film, Uncharted, is in theaters and IMAX now. Let's take a look.
Do you think it's another puzzle?
Well, whatever it is, you better figure it out fast. I'm gonna try and buy us some time. Hey, can I get you a drink?
Gin and tonic, por favor.
It's definitely isn't a gin and tonic, but it is on the house.
Gracias.
Okay, whoa, let me guess. Pina colada?
Yeah.
I think you're a comedian, dear Sunshine.
Okay, I got it. Sex on the beach.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Tom Holland, everybody. Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, hello, mate. It's good to be back.
It's great to have you here. Last time you were here, this is very appropriate because, you know, last time you were here, you were promoting the new Spider-Man film.
Yes, I was, yeah.
And it's done quite well for itself.
Yeah, the studio are happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. With your show, I feel like you can do a like, through the ages of me growing up. Like,
Yeah.
I came here, I don't know, I was maybe 19, I'm 25 now. and
Yep.
It's always great to be back here, mate. So
It's
thanks
great
for
to have
having
you
me back.
And every time you come, I say to you, I'm like, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think showbiz is going to work for you. And you keep ignoring me, and I'm so happy.
Constantly myself.
But a tremendous, I mean, a movie that is so deserved. And one thing, of course, every time you're here, especially if it's for anything Marvel, one of the problems is you have to promote a film that you can say very little about.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true, yeah. I am a very honest person just by nature.
Yeah.
Which has got me into trouble in the past.
Yeah. Are you even, it seems like you're even nervous now you're going to spoil a movie that everyone has seen.
It's already out there.
Yeah.
Like, every time I say, like, so Toby and I'm like, shut up,
Yeah.
don't say that. But yeah, I'm just very honest. So on the press tour, you know, journalists are like, so are Toby and Andrew in this movie? I'm like, no, they're not. Stop asking me that. And I go home and I almost can't sleep because I feel so bad for lying all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like calling up my mom. I'm like, I just feel so guilty for all the lies.
Have you, you should just go, you should call all those journalists and be like, I'm so sorry.
I know, yeah.
I feel terrible about it. I hope you understand.
Yeah, I don't feel that sorry, though.
Yeah. What was it? I mean, that is the spoiler that could not be said that we can now let the world know. But what was it like to work with Andrew and Toby, the previous Spider-Man?
Honestly, mate, it was the most incredible experience of my career. To share the screen with them, you know, playing Spider-Man, while being a wonderful experience, like completely life-changing, it also can be quite alienating, you know? When you're 19 and someone gives you this opportunity and your life changes, and it's quite hard to figure out how to navigate. So to almost have, like, two older brothers that had been through it before me, to be able to share that experience with them was amazing. And I remember we were shooting this scene, which was really emotional, like a really, really emotional scene. And I was struggling to find the emotion just because, you know, when you make these big movies, it can take 2 days to shoot a scene. I've been crying for days on end. So I went up to Andrew and Toby. I nearly said Spider-Man and Spider-Man. And I basically just said, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be a part of this, you know, incredible opportunity. It means the world to me. And we all embraced and we all started crying. And I remember the writers sort of seeing that, being like, yep, that's how we're going to end the film. That's brilliant, well done, Tom. And then the end of the film is us having this moment where I'm like, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And then we have this beautiful hug, so...
Yeah. That's really great that you can both talk about the experience of playing Spider-Man, which is obviously unique to you guys, and also wearing the Spider-Man suit, because not a lot of people, you know, do it at that level. It's just like the three of you and that guy in Times Square.
I'll give you a spoiler. Yeah.
You don't want to hug him.
I'll give you a spoiler, and I'm not going to tell you who, but one of us has a fake ass in their suit.
Really? Wow.
You can figure out that for yourselves.
Wow. I mean, see, this is, you know, everybody thinks you're such a nice guy, but you're all about ticket sales. Because now everybody here is going back out to try to find the fake ass.
I remember being on set being like, wow. hang on a minute. Nah, that's not real.
Right. At the rap party, you're like, where does ass go?
Yeah.
This is very fun
Yes.
to do a film like this. And I want to mention the clip real quick. You actually looked like you had some bartending skills. And I asked about it, and you actually did take this seriously. You did a little bit of bartending classes.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Nathan Drake as a character is someone who is incredibly capable, but in no way, shape, or form trained. So I wanted to find something where I could convince the audiences of his skill. And I'd seen on YouTube this flair bartending, and I thought it was always really cool. So I thought that would be a great way to demonstrate to the audiences that he's quite handy. So I started taking bartending classes, and I actually went to my favorite bar in London and managed to convince the bartenders to let me go behind the bar. So I ended up working these kind of undercover shifts. I had like the white tuxedo on and everything.
Yeah.
But then the management team found out.
What?
And I haven't been allowed back since.
In what I was gonna say when you had to convince them, like in what world do people say no, Tom Holland?
I think
You don't have your bartender's license.
I think the big part of it was that like they're charging a lot of money and my drinks taste like.
Oh, I see.
The patrons weren't happy.
Yeah, like on Yelp, they were like, while the espresso martini was made by Tom Holland, it tasted like.
Yeah.
3 stars.
Yeah, exactly.
I have more questions about Uncharted. We'll be right back with more from Tom Holland. Welcome back to Late Night. We're here with Tom Holland. Last time you were here, right before the holiday, we were talking about you had not had time, and obviously you're a busy guy, to finish your Christmas shopping for your family. I know you're very close with your family. You always have at least one brother with you when you come here. It's
Very
always nice
true.
to see him. Did you get it done? Did you get your Christmas shopping done?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
I just honestly, I'd finished the Spider-Man press tour, and I was so busy and I was so tired that I just didn't do it. And that's terrible. That's terrible. I've told my family, and they're already in agreement that next year will be a double gift year.
Oh, wow.
And
So they're basically, okay.
Yeah,
they
put
pushed
your
it.
orders in now, and I'll sort you out. Don't
So
worry.
they're ultimately patient with you. They're not too judgmental of it.
No, of course not. I mean,
Yeah.
my family are wonderful, and they know how hard I work and the travelling, and the press tours are tough. It looks really glamorous, and it is very glamorous. I'm not complaining, but I am complaining because it's really tiring.
Yeah, no, that's the part that's the most remarkable to me. We always talk backstage because people don't understand that it's almost exactly as long as it takes to shoot a movie, especially the movie the size movies that you're making. You have to go out and then talk about them forever.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm so sick of my own voice.
Yeah.
It does get to that stage. We'd finished work the other day, and I bumped into someone in a bar, and they asked me about Uncharted, and immediately I just went into press mode, like, it's a movie that ticks all the boxes. It's funny, it's exciting, and I was like, stop talking like that!
And then at the bar, did the manager come over and go, back to work, Holland? Now, Uncharted, this movie came about because you wanted to play sort of a young James Bond. Is that?
Yes. Yeah, it didn't work out quite as planned.
But this is that kind of character.
No, essentially, I'm such a big fan of James Bond, and I've loved Daniel Craig's movies, and I just thought if they were to move on, it would be really exciting to see like how James Bond becomes James Bond.
Sure.
So I pitched this idea for a movie, which is kind of a stupid idea, where essentially you wouldn't tell the audience that it was a James Bond movie until the end, but from a marketing point of view, that's a nightmare. Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
Right. And you would never be able to keep that secret.
No, mate. If I got cast as Bond, I'd be like, I am James Bond, tweet. But no, Tom Rossman really liked the idea, and, they've been trying to crack the case with Uncharted for a long time. There's been loads of different actors. Mark Wahlberg at one point was going to play Nate, and now he's old, so he plays Sully.
Yeah. This is sort of like breaking Hollywood news that Mark Wahlberg is old now. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. No, I've been saying that on all the press tours. It's been really fun.
It seems like, Mark Wahlberg seems like a person that you would, as a co-star, that you would be able to tease relentlessly back and forth. Because I would imagine he gives it as well as he takes it.
Yeah, you can tease Mark, but he's also quite a scary guy.
Yes, he is.
So, like, I have a security guard who's one of my best mates, but I only tease Mark when Jack's around. I'd be like... No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Yeah. If I would right now, if I was like, well, Jack's not here, but Mark is.
I'm like, Jack!
And we've talked in the past as well about, this is another big film, great action. There's a stunt in this film that I want to ask you about, because obviously you're no stranger to stunts, but I've never seen somebody, you are in midair and you get hit by a car.
That's true, yeah.
Now, how do they bring that to you as an idea? And then do you just call your stuntman right away and say, bad news?
Yeah, I don't know, it's one of those things where this, for me, as a young kid growing up, the Indiana Joneses of the world was my favorite genre of film. So to do it myself was really exciting, but then I had to do it, and I broke myself. Like, they tell you, right, we're gonna do this stunt where you're gonna jump into the back of an airplane, and then you get hit by a car out of the airplane. And you're like, wow, that sounds amazing. And then you shoot it, and you're on take 12, and they're like, can we go again? And you're like, no, I'm done. But it was tough. I was actually on set on Spider-Man pitching the movie to Zendaya. I was going through the film, scene by scene, and I told her that. I was like, oh, there's this great bit where I get hit by a car out of a plane, and she's like, I have to stop you there. What on earth is this movie about? But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and the stunts is something I've always really enjoyed. I have two amazing stunt doubles who I've worked with for a number of years now, and we have a great little thing going on where, our motto is that things should look dangerous while being safe.
Right.
That's not always the case. There's bangs and bruises here and there, but it's part of the job. But yeah, being hit by the car, my mum actually came to set that day.
Oh, wow. Did she know it was hit by the car day?
No.
Okay.
And then the next day, after hit by the car, was drowned in the well day.
Wow.
Mate, it was brutal.
Yeah, I guess that would have been awful if she, read the script and said, I want to be there on the day you get hit by a car.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to be there and drown in the well.
It's that thing for me, whenever my mum and dad come to visit set, is always the day where I don't work. It's always the day where I'm in my trailer and I have nothing to do, because they're like, there's a problem with the soundstage, or they're doing a different scene, we need to wait for you. So my parents are always like, why are you so tired all the time? What is wrong with our son? And then obviously coming to set on those 2 days consecutively,
That's good.
I was like, this is why I'm so tired all the time.
You're like, you get hit by a car out of a plane and buy Christmas gifts for the whole family.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it is always a full pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for making time
Always
for
a
us.
pleasure.
Tom.
Thank you, man.
You guys, that's Tom Holland.